Shock coursed through Mr. Keod and Mrs. Betty as they struggled to comprehend the herbalist's words. Mrs. Betty, overcome with emotion, fainted at the revelation, her world spinning out of control. Mr. Keod, his heart heavy with disbelief, tried to make sense of the situation. How could his daughter be married to a ghost? And why had she kept this secret from them for so long? As Mrs. Betty regained consciousness, she clung to her husband, tears streaming down her cheeks. The realization that their daughter's life was far more complicated than they had ever imagined weighed heavily on their hearts. Mrs. Betty, her heart heavy with determination, turned to the herbalist with pleading eyes. "What are we going to do now? You have to help us separate them. My daughter will never be married to a ghost. My daughter will marry a human being, a handsome man." The herbalist nodded solemnly, understanding the depth of Mrs. Betty's anguish. "Okay, I will help you," he said, his voice soft yet resolute. "Use this concoction. Let her bathe with it 3 times in 3 days." Mr. Keod and Mrs. Betty accepted the concoction with gratitude, clinging to the hope that it would finally sever the bond between Nana and Vic. As they left the herbalist's hut, their hearts heavy with uncertainty, they prayed for a solution that would bring their daughter the happiness she deserved. Back home, Betty handed the concoction to Nana, urging her to bathe with it for protection. Confused, Nana questioned its purpose. Betty replied, "It's medicine for protection. Use it, and you'll be protected from anything evil in this world." Nana hesitated, then said softly, "I'm already protected, Mama." Betty pressed, "Who is protecting you?" Nana fell silent, unwilling to reveal Vic's existence. Torn between loyalty to her parents and her bond with Vic, Nana faced an impossible choice. Betty, now convinced of the herbalist's words, watched anxiously as Nana bathed with the medicine for the 3rd time. Since the first bath, Vic hadn't appeared, and Nana grew increasingly worried. This had never happened before. As the days passed with no sign of Vic, Nana's heart grew heavy with fear and uncertainty. She couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness that consumed her in Vic's absence. Desperate for answers, she searched every corner of their village, hoping to find some trace of her beloved companion. But no matter how hard she looked, Vic remained elusive, leaving Nana to grapple with the painful realization that their bond may have been broken forever. And as the days stretched into weeks, Nana's longing for Vic only grew stronger, aching for the one who had been her constant companion since birth. Frustrated and desperate for answers, Nana confronted her mother. "Mom, tell me the truth. What exactly did you give me to bathe? Did you separate me from Vic?" Her mother feigned ignorance, replying, "Who is Vic? I've never heard of him before." Infuriated, Nana poured out her heart. "Vic is my husband, my friend, my everything. We've been together for so long. If Vic doesn't come around soon, I kill myself." Her mother was stunned into silence, unable to comprehend the depth of Nana's attachment to someone she couldn't see. As the truth hung heavy in the air, Nana's heart shattered into a million pieces, torn between her loyalty to her family and her unwavering love for Vic. Mrs. Betty finally admitted to Nana that yes, the concoction was indeed meant to separate her from Vic. Devastated, Nana couldn't comprehend how her own mother could betray her like this. "Mom, how could you do that to me, your only daughter?" she cried, her heart breaking into a million pieces. She refused to eat, talk, or do anything, consumed by grief and betrayal. Her mother, guilt weighing heavily on her, remained silent, unable to find the words to ease her daughter's pain. After 3 agonizing days, Mr. Keod and Mrs. Betty couldn't bear to see Nana suffering any longer. They went to her room, finding her curled up in bed, tears staining her cheeks. With heavy hearts, they hugged her tightly, offering words of comfort and consolation. Finally, Nana found the strength to speak, admitting to her parents that she would miss Vic terribly. And as they held each other in a tender embrace, a sense of sorrow and regret hung heavy in the air, their family forever changed by the consequences of their actions. 1 year later, a wealthy and charming man from a neighboring village caught Nana's eye. They began dating, and soon their love blossomed into something deep and meaningful. Despite the pain of losing Vic, Nana found solace in this new relationship, finding happiness once again. As they grew closer, the man asked for Nana's hand in marriage, and she accepted, eager to embrace this new chapter of her life. Their wedding was a joyous occasion, filled with laughter, music, and dancing. Surrounded by their loved ones, Nana and her new husband exchanged vows, promising to love and cherish each other for all eternity. In the following year, Nana gave birth to a bouncing baby boy, filling her parents' hearts with overwhelming joy. Mr. Keod and Mrs. Betty doted on their grandson, showering him with love and affection. The villagers rejoiced at Nana's newfound happiness, celebrating her marriage and the birth of her son. They had watched Nana grow from a young girl into a strong and resilient woman, and seeing her find love and start a family brought tears of joy to their eyes. Despite the challenges and hardships they had faced along the way, Nana and her family had found their happily ever after. And as they looked towards the future, they knew that their love would continue to grow stronger with each passing day, a beacon of hope and happiness in their small Nigerian village.